Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you are joining us from. We want to welcome you here to our session. I'd like to welcome Christine Rary from Belgique. C'est un plaisir de vous avoir parmi nous. Let's see here. We have Dr. Ricky from Texas and Jeffrey from Pennsylvania. We're Renee from Cornwall, Ontario. We have Mark Stevens from Idaho, USA. Courtney, welcome. Great to have you here from Ontario. Let's see here. We have Gazda Goda from Hungary. Thank you for joining us. Certainly appreciate you here. We have Raymond from Philadelphia. We have Ralph from Sweden. Awesome. We have Kurt. Welcome, Kurt. Great to have you here from Colorado, USA. We have Andrew. Bonjour, Andrew, de Toronto. C'est un plaisir de le voir parmi nous. Sorry, guys, I am French, so if I see a French person, I will tend to switch. It's just automatic. We have here Francis from Ghana, Peter from the UK. We have Johnny from Ghana. Let's see here. We have Luce from Colombia, I think. We have Randy. Hey, Randy, welcome. Great to have you here. Always an honor to have you with us. And we have Kim. Oh, Puerto Rico. Okay, you're in Puerto Rico. In Colombia. Okay, got you, Luce. I got you. Okay, Kim, welcome from Toronto. And let's see. We have Sally from Mauritius. Oh, that is such a beautiful.
Oh, I love going to
yeah,
Mauritius.
beautiful. Great to have you with us. Okay, so let's shift gear here. Let's go into our presentation format. Okay, so what we did here, folks, is as you know, in the month of October, we have a campaign we call the August Rush. And what Tammy and I decided to do is, okay, well, why don't we take this opportunity since we're in a campaign and recruiting and there's a cash contest. I'll come back to that in a minute here, where let's give you some tips on how Tammy and I go about the process of recruiting people. And the fact is, the goal here is to recruit 10 people in 30 days. Some of you will do way more than that. Some of you may not even do one. Maybe some of you will do two. Maybe some of you will do three. The point here, our goal is to give you the guidelines, to give you a map. But then you have to choose to follow the map or not. Okay, so now we're going into the second 10 days. As last week, we did the first 10 days of your of the campaign. And you'll notice also, if you go to the comments segment, the comment section of the video, I do have a reference there to a playlist called the Success Cycle series. And these are simply trainings that we've done in the past in reference to prospecting, inviting, following up, third-party credibility. Sorry, try to say that 3 times in a row. Third-party credibility and handling objections. So these are the basic modules that we have been training for, I'm not kidding, decades, that has contributed to the results we've been having in our business. So these are the basic fundamentals. These are your tools. And then, so if you need some help in what to say and all of these things, go back to these trainings. So it is referenced there. Now we're going to get into the segment that we want to do today, where what we're talking about is, onboarding new members and driving duplication.
Mhm.
You see, Tammy and I see this all the time. We see folks that are bringing people on board and then they just leave, right? They just let them fend for themselves. And that's kind of the challenge we're facing here. I understand that in the affiliate world, the goal is to sell the next shiny thing. And that's what you do. You sell to your list and everything else. But network marketing, it's a different beast. It's a different environment. It's an environment where we have environment of nurturing, culturing, friendship, leadership, personal growth, and all of these things. And it's important that when someone gets started, especially someone who's never been in business, that there's some kind of guidelines. There's a place for them to understand what they have in their hands. So we're going to be talking about onboarding new members, but also to drive duplication, right? So the focus is really to help new members to replicate and to continue the recruitment process. Recruiting one person and two, listen, guys, it's not going to make it. It's not going to happen. This is a business. Think of it as if you're working for a sales agency or an insurance policy or whatever marketing program you may be on, folks. These people are getting a salary based on the sales that they make. And if there's no sales and there's nobody that are buying the product the company are offering, well, they're not going to have the job for long, right? So, but also their sales are very limited. Where the network marketing, your sales are not limited because we have what we call a compensation plan that will compensate your effort that you did a month ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And the model that we have will compound. And that's why it becomes interesting. It will compound. And as it compounds, then every time you add a cell, it just compounds to what you've been doing the past 2 or 3 years. Instead of working for a company that gives you a salary and they pay you a commission, and that's it. That's what you're going to get forever from that cell. So this is the difference with when we're dealing in network marketing environment. It's an environment where you're creating a compounding effect from your efforts. And to help you do that, we have a contest. God Backup does this on a regular basis, and this is really, really cool. And folks, it's not going to happen every month. Take advantage while it's here. And we want to encourage a top 10. If you go in your back office and you look at the October campaign contest, you're going to know you'll see all the list, and there's hundreds of people there, but you'll focus on the top 10 because that's what the contest will reward. First place, second, third, and fourth. And when you get to fifth place, all the way up to 10, then everybody gets $50, which is absolutely awesome. So that's basically the foundation of what we have to help you get started and to grow your business. So remember, folks, the contests are awesome because it boosts your income on the short term as you begin. But what's really interesting is the residual that will come from that for the long term that can really shape your lifestyle. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, and you still have lots of time, you guys, especially the ones that are just joining in, got backup right now. That's the time to start running with these campaigns. And if you haven't brought anybody into the business yet, go back and review 1 to 10 so that you can focus all of your efforts on doing the main thing, which is prospecting people, inviting them to presentations, and following up and getting them started right. So here in day 11, it's about onboarding. So by day 11, you should have new people into your business if you are actively building it from day 1 to day 10. Okay, so you want to hold a brief orientation training session with your new members. It's great to do one-on-one, but the fastest way to grow is bring people together. Bring people together. People never want to be left behind. So you bring them together, you create that excitement on running for the next 10 days and bringing them into the perspective that they're starting day 1 to 10. Okay. And you continue supporting them, of course, but you continue also talking to new people. Okay. So you want to walk them through the recruitment process of day 1 to 10. Focusing on how they can share the same benefits, and of course, talking to as many people as they can with their contacts. And then you want to make sure that you provide them the materials, right? Make sure that they're aware of their links. There's 3 main links that is a focus point, and your Got Back Up tour is the prospecting link. Okay, so everybody should have it. Every time I personally sign somebody up, I have them send me their personal link because I follow the guidelines of the steps in the onboarding process. And if you haven't gone through that on the boards, I highly recommend to do that. Follow the system because the system works and it's simple and it's duplicatable. And you don't have to think of what do I need to do next. It's all by design, you guys. The system is put together by design. All right. So, and you may already have team leaders that have systems. Follow the guidelines of your leaders' systems. If you don't have a system in place and you want to follow our system, it's on our boards. Maybe Chris, you can share the boards link.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me just kind of see if I can just share this right now. Copy. I'm going to put it into the message here. Okay, so you can click on that link there, and you should be able to access all the details. If you click on this link right now, let me just click on it and see where it takes me, right? So you can see it here. That's the board link. And if you actually click on that link, it will take you to the board and walk you through some of the process here. And in fact, we're working on something brand new that I think you guys are absolutely going to love. I'm not going to go any further here, but it's really going to be phenomenal to support your efforts. One thing that maybe on the short term, some of you that are just getting started, okay, I just sponsored someone right now. I know Courtney, you reached me on that. It says I just sponsored someone right now, and then my excitement and everything else. I wasn't sure exactly where to go next, but here's the thing. Here's what you need people to do. You need to make sure you point them to where to go in the back office. When you go to your back office, you have use these tools, and then you install the software on your computer and you install the software on your phone. That's the very first thing. Until this is done, folks, I would stick with that until this is done. Focused on, and the reason why is because it creates an emotional connection to the tool to know that their data now is being safely stored on a cloud. That is the first thing you want to do, is to create a connection and some useful value as to maintain and to use that service. Okay, that's how you maintain your residual. Number two is, okay, now the next thing is you need to recruit 2 people. Or maybe not use the word recruit if you're not comfortable with recruit. Just you can use the word enroll. Or
enroll.
enroll 2 people that would love to back up their service, that would like to save some money, and having 6 terabytes for the price of 2. And the moment you do that, now the business model will start introducing another bonus to you over and above the bonus when you sponsor someone. It's called CAB, is the customer acquisition bonus. This is when someone recruits someone else and you get a commission directly from that sale. But then the next step is the back end, and how you earn money is the cycling, right? And the cycle occurs when you have one person on your left, one person on your right. So when you ask people to do these 2 things, just by onboarding right away, just by duplicating that, you can have an enormous amount of success if this is being duplicated within your organization. Okay. So moving on to the next slide, day 12 is first action for new recruits. So Tammy basically mentioned that, okay, walk them through from day 1 to day 10. And you'll notice there's not a lot of knowledge there, folks. It's just steps to encourage people, give them, again, a map. They can choose to drive and follow the map or not. That's up to them. That's not your job. Your job is to simply provide the map for them to move forward and have some direction. But encourage them to find and identify 20 to 30 leads from their network or from the people they know, the people they work with. It's not that hard if you think about it. And make a list. Make a list of all these folks, right? And then you want to do is you want to follow up with each members and to see their progress. Every time you recruit someone, don't just let them fend for themselves. That's what the amateur do. The professional will follow up. And this is what Tammy and I do. And eventually these leaders are absolutely phenomenal. They reached a pin rank of diamonds and double diamonds. And, one recently just reached an emerald. And before that was a sapphire. And, so there's so many different level to reach. But the point here is, at the beginning, you want to grab them by their hands and give them some direction, and just tell them exactly what to do. And it's not hard, folks. Remember, this is a $10 a month service, not $120 to $200 to $300 a month with an introductory fee of $1,000 to $500 plus, right? I mean, it's $100, $120 a year. I mean, this is really inexpensive to grow a business that can get you into a 5-figure income. And I'm not saying you're going to make 5 figures. What I'm saying is some of us are very close in doing that on a monthly basis in a very short period of time. So what's going on here is the potential is endless. And again, I like to use the example often. If you look at a company like Dropbox that has over 800 million users, folks, you just need a tiny little fraction of that in this company to create multimillionaires. The potential is so massive. It's so massive. But remember, we're dealing with a $10 price point, not a $1,000 price point. So don't expect to pay your mortgage because you sponsored 2 people. So that's going to happen as you start compounding. And the training we're providing to you is to help you get that. And that goes a lot faster as duplication occurs within your organization. Back to you, Tammy.
And because it's a $10 price point, duplication should be happening very, very fast. And so day 13, Chris mentioned it also, is to always offer support and guidance. You want to continue supporting your new members and reach out to make sure that everything is good, because often people, this is usually a side business for people, side hustle for people, and people are busy, so you have to constantly connect with them, make sure that they show up at the beginning, you guys, and then you'll know who's your core leaders. You know when you don't have to remind them to do things. That's when you know, when they're automatically sending the links out after you showed them where the links are. They're showing up to every presentation, and they're inviting guests to events. Okay, that's the ones that are going to lead, and they're going to duplicate. But at the beginning, you're breeding that, you guys. You have to understand that. Okay, you don't just sign people up and let them fend for themselves, as Chris said. You got to be there for them. They're going to have questions, and you need to be there to answer their questions and support them in every way you can. And those are the ones that are going to run. Those who are not supported at all, those are the ones that tend to shy away, and you don't see them in the next presentations or the next trainings. So be there for your people. They join because they believe in you. That's why they join at the beginning. They may see something in this, but they believe that you're able to help them get there.
I totally agree, Tammy. And understand, folks, that we're giving you a guideline with days. Life is not we're not robots, right? So because we tell you day 12, day 13, day 14, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen exactly on that day. But we're giving you some direction. And just keep in mind the knowledge that we're passing on to you. And as the environment presents itself, then you remember, oh, I remember on day 12 or day 13, they were saying this. Don't be caught up on day 14. At the end of the day, folks, is just follow through with the guidelines we're giving you. It's not going to be exact. Again, it's a map. So on day 14 is more outreach and live presentations. Folks, you are so fortunate that we have constant presentations that are taking place. Some are hosted. One of them is hosted by the company, which is Joel, on Wednesday evening. And Joel has a different twist to it. He shares his heart. He shares a little bit of where this came from. He shares a little bit of insights while you're learning about the products and the opportunity itself. And then Tammy and I do one on Friday, which is just close to the afternoon. And then we have other leaders that are, I don't want to mention name, because if I mention one and then I don't mention the others, it's just not fair. But you understand that your leaders have presentations that are taking place. Some on Thursdays, some on Fridays, some on Sundays, some on Mondays, some on Tuesdays, some on different parts of the week. Right? So it's very, very important that you stay tuned with those. And we're trying to help you being in line with the schedule of those presentations. One is you can go to your back office of God Backup. You go under events, and you'll notice that you can click on the different flags where the different languages, when the presentation are being hosted, and the time and the links to attend them. So, but that's the point of this slide here, is encourage your members to attend the live presentations. Not enough of you attend the live presentations. You should all be there. If you're there, you learn. Yeah. If you're there, you learn. But if you come in with your team and you invite your guests, you earn while you learn. And eventually you become part of the presentation, and you host your own presentation. And then you schedule your own live sessions. You know, the way I see a leader, it's very clear. Leaders will start presenting themselves. We'll find a date and a time and invite folks to join in this date and time. The leaders will actually prepare events, host events. And there's other leaders that will support the leader that actually are hosting the events to invite people to go there. That's how you grow an organization. This is how this thing evolves. Not by sitting back and wait for things to happen, but make things happen. And this starts by attending the event yourself and making sure that, well, the expression of the 80s, you reach out to your Rolodex, right? In other words, you go through your contact list, that it is WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, that it is Telegram, but whatever it is that you're using, where you have your groups of people, where you have your social network on, and Facebook, it could be your Facebook groups, it could be whatever it is, it could be your own website, it could be email lists. Make sure that people are aware of this presentation. You'll notice on the Telegram group that I constantly make a point of promoting the Wednesday event and the Thursday and the Friday event. And I know other leaders are also taking the time to promote their events in this group. But just remember that these events, if you put it in a group, it's designed to support the entire company, right? It's very important when you present. It's not a me, myself, and I presentation, but it's actually a presentation that suits the need of everybody. Very, very important. So if someone's not part of your team, they feel welcome. They feel they can use this tool. That's how you're going to create some more attendance and more respect for your leadership and your presentations, because it is always generic for everybody coming in and not me, myself, and I. And that's very important as you are presenting to a general audience. Absolutely critical. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, so day 15 is to host or attend another event. Like Chris said, it might not be on that day. These are just reminders. You want to ensure that all of your new people that are evaluating the company through your links, through a conversation, they're attending these sessions. And don't just assume that they're going to show up. The day that it's happening, send reminders. I'm telling you, people are so busy in today's world that we do need to remind them. Send a quick reminder. Hey, John, just wanted to follow up with you. You mentioned you were going to attend the presentation Wednesday. Hey, we're Wednesday. Just make sure that they have the link. Just those friendly reminders is really important when you're building relationships. At the end of the day, we're building relationships for them to move to the next step. It's always about moving people to the next step. Once they watch the presentation, then before they start watching the presentation, just say, hey, after the presentation, let's hop on a quick call. Let's hop on a quick Zoom. I just want to make sure all of your questions are answered before you make a decision to get started, or something like along that line. I'm not a scripted type of person. I just connect with people naturally, and I just move them to the next step. That's always my goal, is to move them till they make a final decision, whether the timing is working for them, or if it's not working for them, I'm going to go to the next step. What's the next step? Well, invite them to the next presentation. Don't make people feel bad because they don't show up, right? These are prospects. They don't have the passion and excitement that you have about the company. They're not in yet. Okay. So invite them to the next one. Keep inviting people, and eventually people will show up, right? So you want to be constantly on your game with your prospects, and also with your members, having team groups, constantly reminding them, because people need to be reminded. So follow up after, always answer whatever questions they have before they make a decision to get started. Okay. So it's really, really that simple, you guys. We got to be on the ball with everybody who is evaluating the opportunity.
Totally agree with that, Tammy. And which brings us to the next point, is following up. This is something that we, excuse me, we came to understand. Following up is really 90% of your business. And one of the reasons why folks are having a hard time converting is because they just don't follow up. They don't follow through on their follow up. They make the initial introduction, and maybe there was a bit of an objection. Maybe they got distracted and they didn't come back to them for whatever reason, and they didn't bother following up on the next step, right? The next course of action, where they're at, what's going on, and this is where the business is really conducted, not the initial presentation, folks, but it's after, once they start processing and evaluating and thinking, and objections are coming about. That's where the real business is conducted. Help your member follow up with their prospect from their live presentations. So if let's say you invited folks to come to on Wednesday or a Friday or any of the presentations that are being conducted, um, just remind them, say, hey, I'll get back to you tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening, not in a week from now. They forgot your name by then, right? The rule of thumb is, I think anywhere over 48 hours is way too long. I like 24 hours because it's still fresh. And I know that life have a way to throw curveballs at people that distracts them. Another thing also that's very important is guide them through the handling the objections. That's why we have the training there on handling objections. I was mentioning in the beginning of this call that we have this success cycle series where handling objections is actually there to help you guide, give you some guidelines on how do we handle objections. And of course, we're not using in a robotic world where now I keep hearing Tesla and I know what it is lately. I just keep seeing robots everywhere that they're trying to sell for $30,000, like the price of a car. You can actually own a robot for your home. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about here is as human beings, everything, we're chaotic beings, right? In other words, things will change from hour to hour, day to day. Things will happen, right? The kids are screaming or something happened, issue occurs, and people that get distracted. And that's why following up and following through is so critical. But another thing I want to share with you is think of your business kind of like a waiter or a waitress at a restaurant of any kind. And I guarantee you that in the morning when they pass around to offer you coffee, they're not going to be depressed because you said, I don't want coffee this morning, right? They're not going to go in the back and start being depressed. This business is not working. They're just not interested. They move on to the next client, next client. And that's what they do all day long. Next client, next client, next client, next client. They do not get emotionally attached to one particular result of someone not being interested. Life is what it is. You're here to guide and to provide information and to help them, bring them along if they're interested. If they're not, move on. Don't worry. Don't put your entire life on, oh, I hope this person's going to want to do this. Because if they don't, that's the end of your business. Come on. And this is what we see often happening. You put too much faith into one person that may or may not do this. Okay. So the key is follow the guidelines. In this case, be like a robot. Do not get emotionally attached to the outcome. You share the information, invite them to the information, follow up on where they're at this point, provide information if they want more. If they don't, ask them why, then deal with the objection as to why, and then let's go back again. And maybe they want to look at it at this time, but you follow through, right? So that's how the process works, folks. And the difference between the top income earners and the rest is the top income earners, they follow up and they follow through in their follow-ups. The rest will complain because of this, because of that. That's not happening. Company's doing this, company's doing that. That's not here, that's not there. This is going on, this is going on, this is not working, blah, 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 blah. Where the successful folks will say, okay, we'll get that resolved. Don't worry, we'll work on these. And as a matter of fact, everything eventually gets resolved. You move on and you keep moving forward and you keep applying the same rules. That's how you succeed in this business. What I just shared with you here in about 2-3 minutes is this cycle of how we grow a business like this and become successful. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, and in the process of all of this, you're building some really good rapport with the people that are evaluating the company. So, if you follow up correctly and you have some good connection with your prospect, you ask questions, then in that case, that's when it's going to be easier to take them to the next step, which is getting them started right, correct? So that's the key. And people are waiting for you. Honestly, they're waiting for you to guide them to the next step. Where most partners, associates, are afraid to ask them questions to get them started. And that's what your prospects are waiting for. The next step, right? What's the next step for me? So guide people well, and you'll grow a powerful business. So you want to encourage all of your new recruits to start asking questions like, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you see yourself on getting started? They're going to tell you. You just ask them that question. Well, I'm about a 7. So how do we move you from a 7 to a 10? What's missing for you to go from a 7 to a 10? They're going to answer, you guys. So don't be afraid to ask things to move people forward. There's many questions that you can ask them. You know, if is there anything missing for you to make a decision to get started with us today? They're going to tell you, right? And then you handle all of these objections as you move along. And it's really that simple. In the process, the trust factor is being developed. People really want to know if this is going to work for them. They really want to know if you're going to be there to help them through the steps. They want to know these things, you guys. So when you're guiding people, then they're saying, wow, I really want to work with this person. I like this person. I feel good with this person to lead me and guide me. So guide people, okay? And you'll see you're going to do extremely well in the process of getting them started. Right from the very beginning, the moment you say hello to them, it's guiding them. All right. So that's it, Chris, on that slide. You were
Yeah,
asking in conversation. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm looking at the Telegram group here. Dr. Ricky mentioned, "God bless you both for all you do for all of us." And you have no idea how much this means to us. Um, Tammy and I really, really, really love people. We really want to help. I mean, the work that we put into training you guys, you wouldn't believe what's the time that we put behind the scene. And again, it's not about that. The fact here is that we want you to succeed. And
Exactly.
we're giving you everything that we have done. And we know without a shred of a doubt that it works because we are living proof that it works because we've gained assets and investments and a lifestyle that are results from the work we're telling you right now. This is real. This works, right? We haven't worked for a company for years. We've been self-employed building networks, right? Building a network with a network marketing company. And we chose God Backup. We believe in the vision. We believe in the future. We believe in Joel and Eve and Mike. They're good people of good character. This is very important to us because when Tammy and I invest, we're invest 100% of ourselves into it. And we want you to come along with the job, with the job. We want you to come along with the opportunity. We want to help you get there. But at the end of the day, folks, there's an expression: you can only bring the horse to the water. You can't force it to drink it. You have to choose to drink the water. We will bring you there, but you got to make the move. That's what we're saying. So going to day 18, folks, is you follow up and encourage for the sign up. Continue to encourage people. Hey, are you ready to get started? What's missing for you to make a decision to be part of our team? Do you see value in what we're having here? Do you see potential? I often go back. You notice if you listen to me speak, I often reference Dropbox because Dropbox is a benchmark that we can follow, where they have their business model, but their business model is based on a cloud service, and this is phenomenal. It was great. It's phenomenal at the time. Now we're having a service that provides 3 times the space, but also gives you an opportunity to completely change your lifestyle using a service that everybody can afford and service that everybody needs. That's how I come across when I share and I go back to a person and encourage them. Are you ready to make a decision? You just have to ask the question, and don't be shy to ask the question. Just be diligent and following up, and follow through, and you follow up. I'm telling you, that's where the money is the follow through. Being organized is also really, really important. Once we're done these training segments, Tammy and I were talking this morning, we're going to be talking about the third 10 days of the campaign training we're doing. So next Saturday, we're going to be doing the third week, the third 10 days, I should say, of the 30 days. And then we're going to be doing a training on onboarding. Right. By the way, we did a training in the past. We called it the role of a sponsor. just go back to the playlist of God Backup, the GVO YouTube channel, and just go to the playlist and go under the Saturday training, and you'll notice in there we have the role of a sponsor. This is probably the closest thing right now we would suggest if you're looking for some direction on what to do right now when you invite someone. You see what's going on here, folks? We're keeping track of all these trainings to create a library that you can go back to. Things don't change just because it's been 3 weeks or a month or a year. We've been 10 years. At the end of the day, folks, as I often reference, constants is a number that doesn't change. Doesn't matter if we're dealing with, 400 billion year or 4 billion, 4 billion years, or, or yesterday. Right. So my point here is you just have to follow the principles that are the principles that actually work. And we are telling you that what we did, we're not just telling you, and you're learning out of us just putting something together. You're learning out of experience, right? So I'm sharing all of you so to build your confidence and your trust on what you'll learn here actually does work. And to add to this, Tammy and I have spent, over $30,000 a year with one mentor to tell us that what we've been doing is exactly what you have to do, right? So we know without a shred of a doubt that what we're telling you works, but you have to deliver on it. So just keep encouraging people to follow through with the sign up, and make sure, again, they connect to the tools, and they understand the process of duplication by sponsoring 2 people, which we call it a copper. That's what you need to do. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah. So once the follow-up's done and they made a decision to sign up, then it's the onboarding process with your new sign up. This is, again, everything is relationship building, you guys. You got to understand this, that people are counting on you to help them and guide them. If you sign somebody up, don't expect somebody else to train your people, because you lose credibility when others are training your team members. At the beginning, maybe your leader is going to be there with you and help in the process at the very beginning if you've never done it before. But I highly recommend to show up to the trainings that we put on the playlist, the trainings for you to guide you how to do it, to guide you to lead by example, to be a great leader, making the first circle work. We've done a training on that one too. That is you making that one work. What do you need to do yourself to grow? Right. And so you want to help them with the onboarding process, and you want to make sure that they have their links, the materials. You want to give them guidance on some things that they can say to get people curious to want to receive the link to have a look at the information, or how to invite to a presentation. So they're going to ask questions, you guys. So you need to be prepared. Prepare yourself with your members. And that's why you got to be plugged in all the time. Chris and I are always in the back office. We're looking to see what's new, right? In the morning, we know our numbers. In the evening, we know our numbers. Do you know your numbers? Do you know where you're going? Do you have a goal on getting somebody to the next level? You got to be planning and preparing yourself so you can guide people correctly. All right? Because your team members are going to evolve in such a big way when you guide and lead.
I totally agree, Tammy. And thank you so much, Anne and Bibiana. Thank you very much. And I know maybe some of you might have posted other things. And thank you for contributing all the time. You guys are absolutely awesome. Last slide here that we want to talk about here is day 20, prepare for the final push. At the end of the day, folks, you probably noticed that we're repeating the follow-up process. It's all in the follow-up. It's all in the follow-up. Onboarding and duplication. Right? So that's what you want to do to duplicate all the time. Assess where you and your team stands with their signups. Where are they now? What's going on? Who's on the fence? This is how you make money in this business, is be in tune with your personals and where they are at, or your prospects and where they are at. right? Identify the remaining leads that needs to be followed up and set a stage for the final close effort. Invite them to come on Wednesday. Joel is a phenomenal guy and he has so much to offer. And he's a really modest person also. So I would really encourage people to come to those Wednesdays to meet the owner. Now I do understand that for some of you it might be quite late. It's it's 8 o'clock Eastern time, where if you happen to be in the Philippines, it's 8 in the morning. If you happen to be in Australia, it's uh, I don't know, it's probably the afternoon. If you happen to be in different parts of the world, you understand what I'm saying. So remember, these are recorded calls and there's a playlist. If you look on the playlist, we have the Wednesday presentations, we have the French presentation, we have the Italian presentation. Very soon we'll have a Spanish playlist as soon as we have some recordings there. And we have the English presentations and on the Friday presentation. We have the Saturday trainings. We have the success cycles. And this is what Tammy shared about earlier is go into your environment of God Backup, which is your back office, the Facebook group of God Backup, the Telegram group that we have. We have a board, which will evolve with the board very soon. But for now, access the board. You have the YouTube channel with all the recordings. Just plug into these things, right? And then identify, any of the remaining leads that needs to follow up. Again, we're repeating here, but that's the business, folks. This is what we do. It's not about signing someone up and hoping my upline puts people underneath me. This is not how you're going to grow a fortune. You might be lucky enough that in some cases, people will be dropped into your downline, and that's great. That's a bonus to you. But if you want to pay your mortgage and you want to live a life of abundance, or at least a life where you can earn, I don't know, four figures, high four-figure a month, US. I like the word US because I love US dollars. Because we're Canadians, and for us it's an increase right now. I think it's like $1.36 Canadian for $1 American. So we love that. And I know some different markets like Ghana, Nigeria, the Philippines, and different parts of the world. It's a nice boost. And now we have Pay Quicker that's actually in your back office. I've actually activated it this past week, and I did the transfer. And it's so seamless, and it's so professional, and it's so easy. I appreciate what Wise does, but I find Wise, they they want to know everything, my passports and this and that, and I think that they tend to force the currency where you live, and I like to keep things in US because we travel. So again, folks, what am I doing here? I'm just sharing you what's going on in my head as all the benefits that we got backup that comes into my conversation when I'm talking to a prospect, because not everybody will want to hear the same things. And based in the environment that was created with your prospect, as you were sharing the opportunity, things will change. But again, the approach will vary from person to person. So that really, folks, ends the session of the second 10 days of the recruiting 10 days, 10 people in 30 days, which is the October Rush campaign. Tammy, what are the last word that you would like to share as we end?
I like to give assignments. I think it's important that we follow through every single time we show up at a training. So right after this session is finished, take a few minutes and send a hello message. Not even a few minutes. If you can spare an hour, just say hello to 20 to 30 people, whether it's social media, whether it's phone contacts, your WhatsApp contacts, whatever it is, your contacts, and wish them an amazing weekend. The goal is to always have conversations, right? So send something out. I mean, in Canada, we have Thanksgiving weekend. So what a perfect time to wish people a happy Thanksgiving with their families. Perfect time. Take an hour and do that. I mean, I'm sure you'll get more than 20 or 30 out there, especially when you copy what you're going to say and then you send it to the same thing, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, right? And do that today. And also any new members that you've signed up, or even pulling the existing members together that have not really activated or done anything. You can combine the two of them, but pull them together for a team session. book a team session with your group, and then talk to them about the campaign, talk to them about, how to go through their back office, whatever it is. Answer questions, build relationships, and watch your teams explode with this session, this contest.
Absolutely. So, folks, listen, have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend. Take advantage of all the information that's there for you. I'm not kidding. God Backup is a place you can call home. Just stay the course and don't get all wrapped up in the small little problems that we resolve in a week or month or later on. Just stay the course in the vision. Understand what we have. This is an opportunity that everybody can afford and everybody needs. And the other thing I want to mention here is happy Thanksgiving to our Canadians. So if you have any Canadian friends, as Tammy suggested, connect with these guys. We have a lot to be thankful for. I know that it's a very challenging time right now all over the world, but gratitude, it's the medicine of all. And the last point I want to mention is I know that our Florida resident have been having a bit of a hard time. When I say a bit, it's just to say the least, with our Milton hurricane. And we want to send you love and blessings. We understand things were a little bit rough. Tammy and I have a special place in our heart with Florida because we do also live there half the year. And we hope that all of you are safe, and whatever situation that comes across in life. One thing that I like to say is God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle. I wouldn't blame God for this. I'm just saying that the situation that happens based on decisions that we human have done in our environment, and we have to deal with the consequences of those. But the point here is it's important to look out for each other. And I think that this is an opportunity that can really create another stream of income to really help you live the life that you want to live, opposed to the life that you have to live. So have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you soon, everybody. And bye for now.
Have a great weekend.